Deva, and I'm from the island of Kauai, and I grew up in Hawaii, but my whānau is West Indian, African American, and I came from a pretty musical family on my papa's side, and my mom is a writer and a poet and a dancer and a teacher. So that's where I come from. A long lineage of storytellers and music makers. And I live down in Te Whanganui-a-Tara. I've been making music for a long time, since I was about 16, actually probably like 9, but by myself on my own since I was about 16, 17. And I've been living back in Aotearoa for about 5 years, but I used to live here and before I moved to New York. And I lived in New York City for a long time, and then I lived in New Orleans for a minute, and now I'm back home. And yeah, I've been doing lots of things, playing around the world, putting out music. I've been an independent artist for most of my career. Um, and this year has been an exciting year because I'm putting out my second EP, independently released, and it's the second side of a two-part EP called Future Classics. And at the moment, we're seeing releases from the future part of the EP. So I'm just, we're on track 2. And I took this EP and wrote and recorded it in 2 months while traveling through London and New York. So it's been a really amazing project to put out in the world, another bedroom record, bedroom bangers. And yeah, it's been an awesome process working with some really cool producers from here. My friend Chris Wethey, my homegirl Esther, and my boy Ashton Sellars have all worked on this project with some other really awesome artists, like 2 members of the band Flor de Toloache. They're a Grammy award-winning mariachi band, so they worked on one of the songs. And then Lydia Cole, who's from here, is on one of my tracks. Iris Little did some writing on this, and so it's a beautiful piece of work from my heart to the airwaves, and I'm really loving the response, so it's been really cool. I mean, I've always rejected genres and being put in a box. I just make the music that I want to make when I want to make it, whatever feels honest in the moment. And sometimes that could sound like electronic music, sometimes that's acoustic soul, sometimes that's jazz, sometimes that's blues, sometimes that's funky shit, sometimes that's R&B, sometimes it's like contemporary modern soul, sometimes it's country, like sometimes it's just folk music. Whatever I'm feeling and feels honest in the moment is what I'm making. Living around the world, I was kind of saying basically like Hawaii has like been a big part. My parents traveled. My dad was on tour all the time, so we went all over, spent time in Fiji, spent time in Europe, spent time in the continental US and Canada and things like that. So my ears have always been open to like music from all over the world. And living in Aotearoa when I was coming up and going to uni and touring with Fat Freddy's Drop and Trinity Roots and Rhombus, that I feel like was a real formative moment for me, because I was just coming out of jazz school, so there was a lot of influence there, and then there was a lot of influence with what was kind of happening in the 2000s in Aotearoa, and then going to New York and like digging into the scene there and playing with people who were in bands like Lettuce, or playing with folks from like TV on the radio, or like playing with the Dap Kings and things like that. Just kind of like really influenced my first record, which was Run Deep. And then like going around the world, like listening to all sorts of different bands and playing different festivals and kind of having that trickle in, all the while still kind of really having the sounds of Aotearoa in my ears. And then coming back, just like, I feel like I've kind of been inspired by so many things that these new projects are really, I feel a culmination of all the things that I've fell in love with along the way. And then also a lot of it comes from like just my heritage and my lineage and the whakapapa that I am a part of and I come from. So yeah, that's me. You know what, brother? Sometimes I don't know. Like sometimes it really feels like you're pulling water from sand. You know, sometimes it feels like such a tribulation to kind of get up and keep going, especially in today's world where we are painfully aware of the global pain of others. You know, our consciousness is always being made aware of what struggles and strifes are happening in the world. And so it's kind of hard to prioritize, you know, getting up and performing and doing social media and kind of like being your own record label when you feel like you want to do more meaningful things in the world. But something I realized when I was really young is that like giving up was not really an option for me, you know, like, and I suppose because, you know, my father is like 83 and he won another Grammy this year and got recognized for a lifetime of achievement. And I figure if he can do it for 60 plus years, then I can do it, you know? So I love Māori music. I actually just got to properly meet Stan Walker the other day, and big fan of his. And, you know, just listening to him and like Rob Ruha, big fan. Ria, like, Asia. I was a big fan of Nat Rose back in the day. That's my girl there. Beautiful waiata coming out of Aotearoa. And it's really cool to see like the influence also and the connection between Black American music and Māori music in contemporary music today. It's quite beautiful to see like gospel and R&B and soul music, but hear it in Te Reo Māori and hear it in the waiata of Aotearoa. It's like that beautiful mixture. And for me, it's like really delightful to witness. And also growing up in Hawaii, it feels very familiar to me. You know, like in my formative years, listening to and singing in Hawaiian, and then coming here and listening to waiata Māori. It's like, it just feels, for me, it's not that far from me in my ears. So it makes me feel home and connected. And then with the African roots, you know, like singing in harmony, like that's such an indigenous experience, you know, that depth, that spiritual connection to the voice and to the way that singing together is like a musical representation of community and connectivity. And you just see all those connective tissue, and it just is really beautiful.
Une extase.